Thank God we have met once again on our blessed channel, Heritage Interdenominational Channel. We are still discussing the topic protocol. When we last spoke on this topic, we mentioned in passing what I call the design of protocol. Now, every protocol requires and has its own design. When I talk about protocol design or the protocol or the design of protocol, I'm talking about the formulation of protocol arrangement, and that is the manner of construction or how it is crafted or put together. So what you do in terms of putting together, crafting, and formulating a design for protocol is what I call the design of protocol. Now, protocols are not just designed, they must be determined. And there are three types of protocols which demand determination. So every type tells you the kind of determination you must make in terms of the design of protocol. So we'll quickly look at three major types of protocol designs, and we'll look at it from the biggest to the smallest. The biggest type is the Grand Protocol design. This design is used by presidents, heads of states, monarchs, kings, and political office holders, and of course, diplomats. This one requires security details, it requires infrastructure and communication system. It requires the use of motorcade. It requires the use of exclusive transport. So people who use Grand Protocol have their own jet plane to travel on. They have a motorcade, they have an exclusive transport they use, and all of that. And they have security detail that are sometimes police officers or even military officers. This is the grand design, and is in terms of expenditure, this one demands the highest form of expenditure. You must belong to a certain class in society to warrant the design of a grand protocol design for you. The second one we can talk about is the medium protocol design. This is used by people, you may not call them ordinary. They are important, but they are not as big as those who would use the grand protocol. These are people in the category of business executives. They are important in society also, but they occupy a middle place in society, and they can put together what's called a medium protocol design. And this design depends on requirements not as elaborate, not as expensive as the grand protocol design would, or the grand protocol type would require. They may use gadgets, they may have their own transport, they may not have an elaborate security and equipment to do their job. So it's the meso or the medium type of protocol design. Then you have the petty protocol design. That is the bottom, the last of it, and it is one that is used by ordinary people. Sometimes people are not ordinary, but they want to go by the petty protocol design. It also depends on what you do. If you don't feel a threat, you don't feel threatened by anybody and anything in society, this is the protocol that you need, and is there for the commonest of persons. It is the ordinary man's protocol. It is without the details and the deployment of gadgets, infrastructure, and details of security and handlers, or security men and other handlers. That is what is called the petty protocol type. And as a matter of fact, this protocol, like I said, requires no infrastructure, no details. It dwells more on personal lifestyle, rules and regulations by which a person or an organization makes himself available to people, available to public, available to the people he meets. So now that we understand what protocol design is and the types that are, we want to look at the rules that must be followed in putting up a design that you choose for yourself. The first rule is that it must incorporate a philosophy and a focus. The first rule is that your protocol design must follow a philosophy and a focus. When I say philosophy, I'm talking about a belief system that guides the person or the organization that the protocol serves. And for us as ministers of God, if I may use ministers of God as an example, then our belief must be biblically based. It must be one that pleases God. And so the belief system that must guide the protocol we must put in place is the protocol that Jesus would have used. How he loved the people and made himself available. It doesn't mean that Jesus didn't have a protocol. You cannot see that written, but by the reasoning process of deduction and induction, you will be able to see that there were protocols around Jesus Christ. And Jesus was open to the people. If you like, he had an open door protocol around him. And so we must have a certain belief that guides the protocol arrangement that we have put in place and how people access us. Now, politicians would have ideological philosophies, and sometimes it is one that should intimidate the people for whatever reasons they think they want to have that or follow that philosophy. So there are philosophies that must guide in the design of protocol designs, and then there is always a focus. The focus of the protocol is not anything, it's not anybody, it's not the public. The focus of the protocol is the one the protocol serves, and that means either the individual or the organization that the protocol serves. So the people involved in protocol, who are called the handlers or who are called the details of the protocol, these must have their focus not on even the people who are coming. That doesn't mean the people are ignored, they are disrespected, but their focus is the person they serve as protocol handlers and protocol details. So their focus, everything is on this person. They must make sure they are focusing and ensuring that the man has the ease to do his work and to perform effectively, efficiently, and optimally. So the focus of protocol is always the person protocol serves. Now, number 2, by way of the rules, it must be tailor-made. When we say it must be tailor-made, it must be designed solely to meet the demands, the requirements, and the purposes of this individual and the organization. So it must be designed to fit as a fit for purpose something. So protocols are tailor-made. Now, personalities are different. And so protocol details must understand the personality dynamics of the person they are serving, the culture dynamics of the organization that the protocol is serving, and ensure that that design fits so that there is not embarrassment, so that there is not harassment of the public, and so on and so forth. So in designing it to be tailor-made, you must design it in such a way that at the end of the day, the personality itself, the organization itself, is not brought into embarrassment. If the man is hyper-choleric, they must know how to handle that situation in helping him to be able to meet his public and so on and so forth. So that's what we mean by it should be tailor-made. And it being tailor-made also requires that it should be designed to fit the goals, the objectives, and the objectives of a person or the organization itself. If the person is a hyper-choleric, for instance, and protocol is designed to just allow anybody to come in when they are not supposed to come in, this man who is combustible is going to blow up and is going to create a problem of image problems, both for that person and his organization. It tells you that protocol work should be done with a lot of sensitivity and a lot of wisdom, and to us to be able to do their work very well and help this man that the protocol serves. Number 2, in terms of the second rule, which is it should be designed to fit purpose or should be tailor-made. The second thing you must look at under that point is that it must enhance organization and of efficiency of the person or the organization the protocol serves. So must be designed to help the details to follow their rules of engagement, and it must be help to help the details to follow the rules and requirements in terms of how they process the people who must access the personality of the organization they are coming into, as well as manage this person and this organization that the public or persons are accessing through protocol. The third rule is that it must have professionally trained details or handlers. People who are details or in the security arrangement must be carefully selected with requisite qualities and requisite training and skills. Many times, protocol handlers are an embarrassment to a personality or a high-profile person or an organization by reason of their unprofessionalism, professionalism, and by reason of the way they talk, the way they behave. They should be professionally trained to understand their role. They must understand that they are not there for themselves. They are there on the ticket of the employment of their employer or the organization, and it is the interest of this man and this organization they are serving, not their own interest. They must understand that they are not co-equals with the officer, the person, the organization they are working for. They have a privileged employment and a job to do, and they are not on the same level. They should not compare themselves and misbehave and talk as if it is the man they are serving who is talking. No, they should be very professional and exhibit a sense of wisdom and humility and so on and so forth in the discharge of their duty as handlers within a protocol arrangement. Then rule number 4, they must be proactive, they must be gentle, and they must be firm. Proactive, gentle, and firm. They must be ready, practical, they must be upbeat, not in the negative sense, but upbeat in the positive sense, in the discharge of their duty. At the same time, they must be gentle and they must be fair, because people who want to have access sometimes can be tough, and sometimes they want to bulldoze their way through. But the security person, the detail in the protocol arrangement must know their rules. They must stand their ground. They must say no firmly, but gently and with respect and humility. They must stand their ground. So for true, they must be proactive, they must be gentle, and they must be firm. Remember that I have been having this discussion on the basis of the book of Esther, and I have said things about design today that you can see in the book of Esther. You cannot see it written, but by reason of logical reasoning, you'll be able to deduce, you'll be able to induce that in that book, in the palace of King Ahasuerus, a Medo-Persian king, he had a serious protocol arrangement in place, and he had the details, and there's a design and so on and so forth. By the description of the palace and the things that went on in the banquet of the king for 180 days with his princes and his servants, and then the general public or the commoners, and also with the banquet that was organized by Vashti the queen for the ladies in the palace. And in this narrative, if you read it closely, you see the hierarchies of officers, the hierarchies of personnel. Wherever you see hierarchies, it tells you there are protocols and there are designs of protocols with the details and all the requirements. So we are not talking extra biblical. We are talking from the Bible, from the book of Esther. And Esther gives us the idea of the necessity of protocol, the design, how it works. And that is what I have attempted to bring to you in this short presentation, in this video. I hope it's been a blessing to you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord grant you grace and favor and mercy and wisdom in what you are doing. And may the Lord help you to be able to design protocol arrangement that is good and fit for purpose, that says what you are doing and promote your cause. May God bless you. I'll catch you again. Amen.